All right. If at any point in time you have any questions, you are more than welcome to um, submit the questions on the chat. We are going to have a chance at the very end, though, for a Q&A session, but I'm just going to kind of go through just the basics of everything for kindergarten related. And again, when we get to the end, we'll have a Q&A session. But if you do have something that pops up and you don't want to forget, you can enter it in the chat. And then once we get to the Q&A session at the very end, I'm happy to answer those questions for you. We're going to just go ahead and get started. I'm Mr. Bondi. I'm the principal at New Temple Elementary. I'm so excited to have all of you here. If you haven't done so already, if you wouldn't mind just changing the name on your Zoom icon to your first and last name, if you can, or first name is fine. And then just whether you have a TK student or a kinder student. Just kind of helps let me know who is here and how to address appropriately when we get to the Q&A session. Like I mentioned, we'll go ahead and just do a quick presentation, and then we'll open it up at the end for Q&A. And then if there is anything throughout the meeting and you don't want me to forget, you can go ahead and enter the questions into the chat, and I will answer those. All right. What I would like for you to do, though, just as an engage activity, and this is something we do with our students every morning. Some of our teachers do good things, or they just have them share out something, or we do a little fun activity, a way to just get everyone engaged and kind of, I guess, open up in a sense. If you could, in the chat, just write down one thing you're looking forward to see this school year for your student. All right, so Eladeth Gomez, and I hope I pronounced that right, is looking for improved social skills. Absolutely, that's such an important thing for our students is the socialization. And I know we're going to talk a little bit about kind of what our TK and kinder students do, and part of the expectations, and that's definitely one of them. Ariel also mentioned socializing and making new friends and being able to learn in an actual classroom. Yeah, absolutely. Those are all things that really do kind of encapsulate what we do here at New Temple for our TK and kinder students. Thank you for that. If you're just joining us, thank you so much for joining. I know I just submitted a few other participants. We are just doing an engage activity, so if you can write down in the chat one thing you're looking forward to seeing for your student this year while at New Temple in their TK or kinder year. And thank you, Eladeth and Ariel, for responding. I do appreciate it. All right, we'll go ahead and continue on here. So I just kind of wanted to introduce everyone to the TK and the kinder teaching staff. These are the teachers who will be working with all of your students throughout this school year. We have Ms. Nicosia, she is our TK teacher. Mrs. Ponce teaches kindergarten. Mrs. Dominguez teaches kindergarten as well, and so does Mrs. Woolery. Ms. Kwok is our kinder, and she actually does the first grade and kinder combo this school year. And then Mrs. Peralta is our reading specialist, so she's going to be working with all of our students, really just focusing on our reading development, particularly with the younger students. And so she'll be pulling and working with small groups of students in TK and Kinder and some of our other grade levels and students with disabilities throughout the school year. So hopefully you'll get to know them. I know you'll be able to meet them at back to school night and have more of an opportunity to put a face to the name. But just wanted to introduce you to the different staff members that we have who will be working with your students this school year. Really behind everything we do here at New Temple is really about capturing kids' hearts. And we really try to follow this model that we have, which is called Excel. And essentially what it is, it's what we use in the classroom on a daily basis. It's kind of what we use whenever we have meetings, whenever we do family nights like this. We'll try to follow this model. And essentially what it is, we're going to engage, and that's some sort of activity where we get you guys engaged, we get the students engaged, whether that be good things, asking questions, something fun just to get the day going. Then we're going to explore, kind of feel what the needs list are. What can we do to help one another out? What do our students need? Then we're going to communicate, which is kind of the piece that we're doing right now, just talking about the different parts of our TK and Kinder program. Empowering is just making sure that we give our students that power to go out into the world and really be the citizens that we want them to be. And finally, the launch piece is just something positive at the end where we are going and giving them the opportunity just to think about their futures and really just kind of launching them. It can be in the form of a quote. It can be in the form of a little short movie. Sometimes we have the students affirm one another as well, okay? And thank you for adding those other things to the chat. Yes, we are definitely hoping everything goes well with COVID too and keeping everyone as safe as possible. And we'll highlight that in just a little bit as well. The other key piece of capturing kids' hearts is the social contract. And all of our teachers are currently developing the social contract with their students as we speak. It is something that takes some time. Really what the social contract is, it's an agreement of behavior between all of the participants in a classroom, students, teachers, other staff members, on how we're going to behave. So really there's 4 questions that drive the social contract. How do the students want to be treated by the leader? How does the leader want to be treated by the students? How do we want to treat each other when there's a conflict? And how do we want to treat one another? So really that's kind of the overarching theme of the social contract. And essentially what happens is our students develop their agreement for behavior with treating one another, treating their teacher, how their teacher wants to be treated by them. And really that's the focal point of the classroom. Whenever there is an issue that arises, we always revert back to the social contract. And when students come into the office for whatever reason, if I do need to speak to them because maybe they weren't able to handle it in the classroom, that's something that I go back to as well. I ask them, well, what were we disobeying on the social contract? How maybe could we have behaved a little more appropriately or follow the social contract? So it's really something that just gets everyone's buy-in, and we treat it very much like a contract in the real world. All of the students sign it or they initial it. It's posted front and center in all of the classrooms. And it's that piece of the classroom that everyone abides by on a daily basis. And we ask our teachers to just allude to that every time there's a situation where it needs to be alluded to in the classroom. And sometimes it's on a daily basis because especially in the beginning, as we're getting used to being in the classroom, especially for our TK and Kinder students where maybe they didn't have as much structure at home or in a pre-K program, we need to make sure that that is really at the heart and the center of everything that we do. In addition, it is something that we do with our staff. We developed a social contract at the beginning of the school year, and that's actually posted in our staff lounge for all of our staff to abide by too. And we really try to just model that for our students because we understand there's going to be conflicts and disagreements, but it is our job as citizens of this community here at New Temple to interact and be appropriate with one another. This is just the expectations for our TK and kindergarten program, and a lot of you kind of alluded to this in your responses to what you have as your goal for your students this school year. Really the goal for us here at New Temple is to just help our students adapt and excel here in an educational setting. There will be small group instruction, whole group instruction, individualized instruction with some of our staff members and teachers. And really the primary focus is social emotional development, character education, literacy, language arts, math, science, and social studies. And so really we encourage our teachers and our staff to use cross-curricular activities where it's not just we're teaching math and then we're teaching science, but we're doing it together in collaboration, all while focusing on our social emotional health. That is such a key component. As we know, there has been a lot of social emotional impact due to COVID-19, the pandemic, and just other things going on in our world. And so we want to make sure that we're creating opportunities for our students to have conversations, to be able to express themselves, and to really just kind of build the foundations of what it means to be a good citizen in this world. And we understand it really starts here at this age. Our kindergarten students, they will have their kind of own separate recess and own separate lunchtime from the older students, but they're still here on campus with students who are in fourth grade. And we really hope that our fourth graders provide a great example for our kindergartners and TK students on how to act and interact with one another. And it really starts with the classrooms and giving them that opportunity to interact with one another, to ask questions, to participate in class, and just really at the end of the day, have fun. You know, our TK and kinder students, they do a lot of work, and so much is asked of our TK and kinder students. But a big thing we like to stress too is just they are kids. And so we do want them to still be kids at the end of the day. That being said, it would be an extremely great help. I know all of my kinder teachers asked if I could stress this, that we do practice our alphabet, our colors, and then once we move past those, our sight words with our students. The sight words are an extremely vital part to reading, and it really helps when our students can master those. If you haven't gotten them already, the teachers will be sending out list of sight words, and they're all based upon color. And we do like to award our students when they've reached certain mastery of different colored lists. You're going to hear more about that when we have back to school night from your individual teachers. But if you can just take the time to read to your students every night, it is such an important piece for our students to not only learn how to read themselves, but to hear what it is when someone is able to read to them too. Sometimes those listening skills are such an important piece. So if you have the opportunity to read on a nightly basis, I would definitely encourage you to do that. I do want to just highlight health and safety, and I know if you did attend the parent webinar I held earlier on in the summer, some of this is repetitive, but I think it is worth repeating because of the importance. We are maintaining a physical distance in the classroom. We are enforcing mask wearing. We are encouraging our students to hand wash when they come into the classroom and or use the touchless hand sanitizer dispensers. All of our frequently touched areas, including our classrooms, the desks, the chairs that they use, all of our door handles and knobs, the water, the sinks, countertops, all of our tables outside, those are being cleaned on a nightly basis. And even in between, some of our teachers are doing it intermittently as well to help. But the big thing that I'm asking is if your student is sick, that we do keep them home. We're really erring on the side of caution, particularly if there is a fever or other symptoms synonymous with COVID-19. We're just really trying to keep all of our students and staff safe here. And so it does help when we're able to, keep them home. They're kind of the first line of defense for us. We are obviously symptom and temperature checking upon entry, but not everything is caught. So if you happen to know that your little student is not feeling the best, it would be very helpful if you can keep them home and just err on the side of caution. Some other things that we are doing in addition to what I kind of mentioned is all of our desk shields are now being put up. They actually have been put up since the beginning of the school year to help out. We're utilizing outdoor spaces. We are encouraging all of our classrooms to go outside as much as possible, even for fun activities such as read alouds and other things, whenever we can do it, and weather permitting, of course, just to be outside. The other big thing that I would stress is water bottles. Within the first couple days of school, we did hand out quite a few water bottles. and we no longer have any extra water bottles to give out. But if you could please send your students with water bottles to the campus. We do have water bottle filler stations throughout the campus. We actually have 5 of them. The teachers have shown all the students where they're at, and they're able to fill them up whenever they need. But it is really helpful when they have their own water bottle. It just helps keep everyone safe, and they can fill it up as they need. And obviously, it's been pretty hot as well, so just making sure that they're staying hydrated throughout the day. The next thing is the student pickup placards. I know this is something that we've really been pushing, and it really just has to do with student safety. At the end of the day, all of the students here on campus are my responsibility. I want to make sure that they are being picked up by who they're supposed to be picked up by. So you should have gotten a copy of your student pickup placards in the New Temple folder that was sent home the first day of school. And we're asking that just parents and whoever, guardians or other family members, whoever's picking up your child, does come with the pickup placard. It helps for both walk-ups and those who are driving in. And I just want to shout out, thank you very much. This has been going really, really well. It does really help with student safety, and it's also helping with the efficiency of our pickup procedures as well. So thank you for your help with that. Just a couple of reminders about school uniforms. Just the colors for our shirts, they're white, navy blue, or light blue, and they must have a collar. If you are wearing shirts underneath or have your students wearing shirts underneath, they just need to be a solid uniform color. So again, white, navy blue, or light blue. The shorts, they are navy blue only. I know the question has come up on several occasions, do we allow khaki? And the answer is no, it's just navy blue. Dresses and skirts, navy blue or dark green with plaid with yellow and red striping. And then for our jackets and sweaters, I know right now we're not utilizing them too much because it's been pretty warm, but when we do get to the winter months, navy blue, dark green, white, or light blue. I know there's been a couple of questions, like if, say for example, I went to Gap and I bought it and it has a little logo, that's totally okay if it's a small logo, but we're asking that you don't send your students with a giant logo on any of their uniforms, just because obviously we're trying to keep it as uniform as possible. If for any reason you're having issues getting any uniforms, I know a lot of the stores that sell them are completely sold out, or maybe you don't have the right size. Please just contact the New Temple office. Sandra, our secretary, will be happy to assist you with getting you some school uniforms. And we don't want it to be for any reason that you can't get them or financial issues. We're definitely able to help out with that. All right, so I do want to just talk about a couple of the fun awards that we have here at New Temple. We actually just awarded our first one last week, and that was for Paw Pride. What these awards are what our teachers look for in the classroom. It's a student who is just going above and beyond in class and following the social contract. They might even do just one thing that really kind of spark the eye of the teacher and just really impress them, whether that be they helped the student up because the student fell, or maybe when the student didn't understand a question, they went by them to help them out or gave them assistance. And so what we do is I call the students up. We have them, socially distance, of course, celebrate. We take their picture. They receive a certificate, a Paw Pride pencil, and then I usually give them another reward. Sometimes it's candy, sometimes it's erasers or bookmarks or pencils and other things, but it's just a way to celebrate our students' accomplishments and really focus in on the positive. So if your student came home with a Paw Pride award, just know that is a really good thing. And if they're talking about it, it's probably because they want to earn the rewards from their teachers. So congratulations if your student did receive one, and we'll continue to hand those out on a weekly basis. The next thing that we hand out is our trimester awards. So we have our Tiger Scholar of the Month and then our Tiger Citizen of the Month. And so each month our teachers will select 2 students in their class, one for the Scholar of the Month who's just shown excellence in academics, and then the Tiger Citizen of the Month who's just been a great citizen in the classroom. We do have different character traits that we focus on each month, and our teachers are looking out for tigers in their classroom who really just exuberate those different qualities. Our award ceremonies will be, we're waiting for confirmation on whether we can have them in person or whether they will be virtual. And I will definitely relay that information as we get closer to it. obviously with everything going on in the pandemic, we're kind of we get different information from the Department of Public Health, but they're really the entity that guides us on whether we can have other people on our campus. So that being said, we will have trimester award ceremonies. They may be virtual or they may be in person, but again, you'll be notified about that if your student is receiving an award, and we will be handing out those Tiger Citizen of the Month and Tiger Scholar of the Month awards. And then at the very end of the school year, this will happen at the beginning part of May, we do hand out, each teacher selects the one student from their class who just really stood out the entire year, and they are the recipient of the Tiger of the Year awards. And we have a special assembly just for them as well. So definitely some things to look forward to, and encourage your students to really focus in on their academics and just being model citizens in the classroom. So assemblies and field trips. We do our best to hold assemblies on a monthly basis. It's not always for every grade level, but we do try to pick assemblies that are applicable to every single grade level and have our students attend those. Awards assemblies are held every trimester, so that'll be 3 times a school year. Field trips, all of our grade levels are able to select a field trip and attend those. This year, we're still waiting on determination of whether those will be in person or virtual, but just know that your students, if we do attend in person, you will be notified, and there will be a field trip form that you'll need to fill out prior to our students attending. However, we're still waiting for notification from the Department of Public Health on whether we'll be able to do in-person field trips or whether they'll have to be virtual. But one of the beauties of last year in virtual learning was a lot of the field trips that we've attended in person have now made a virtual a Zoom model or another kind of virtual format, and they actually do a really, really good job. So the one thing that's nice about that is it's enabled multiple grade levels to attend the same field trip, where before it was really only maybe one grade level attending just due to the funding. Some important dates I just want to note for you. Back to school night will be on September 14th. You will be notified whether that'll be in person or virtual. We will be letting you know. Parent-teacher conferences will be October 6th through 8th. Spring conferences are on February 2nd. Open house will be on May 12th. I did include the link for our district calendar here at the bottom. You're more than welcome to click on it. It has a lot of other important dates. It'll tell you when report cards are going home, progress reports are going home, when we have no school because of holidays, and other important dates. So please check that out when you have a chance. I will be sharing out this presentation, as well as this whole webinar is being recorded. So you'll have all of that access on the school website a little bit later on today. I did want to just shout out, if you are looking to get involved, I know I've received several phone calls of just asking me, hey, Mr. Bondi, how can I get involved? I really do want to participate, but I'm not really sure how. A great way to do that is with PTO. So you can email Miss Cecilia Romo, Ceci Romo. She is our PTO president this school year. Her email address is listed down below, and they'd be happy to help out. I know PTO did a great job at our first week of school, just greeting kids, being out there, helping out with posters and doing other things. So if that's something you're interested in, you're more than welcome to email her. We're always looking for new members, and it's very helpful when we can get the community joined in there. I know I kind of went through that quickly, but I do want to just open up the floor now for any questions that you may have. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen just so we can all just kind of see one another. If you're able to have your camera on, that's fine. I know a lot of you may be working or kind of multitasking, which is totally fine too. If you feel comfortable putting your question in the chat, you can do that. If you rather unmute yourself or raise your hand, I'm happy to call on you individually as well. All right, Marissa, great question. Let me go ahead and pull up the chat. So Marissa asked, will back to school be different grades on different days? We actually do all of our, for New Temple, the back to school night will be all on the same day, the same night. Right now it's scheduled for 7 p.m. on the 14th. Questions. Lizeth asked, have there been discussions about putting sanitizer hand washing stations at drop off? That's actually a really great suggestion and definitely something that we can look into. We do have them at like our offices and our staff lounge and then within all of the classrooms. But I do think there's an opportunity maybe to add some. So definitely I will consider that. And I do appreciate the suggestion there. Laura asked, with regards to COVID precautions, how would we know if our kid was directly exposed? Also, how does the school lunch menu get distributed? Okay, so the first question, Laura, in regards to COVID precautions. So if your child was deemed a close contact, you will receive a letter from me as soon as I get that information. So I will definitely send you a letter, and it'll say your child has been deemed a close contact. That child will be asked to quarantine for the 10 days per the Department of Public Health requirements. We are sending out the exposure letter, which many of you have received if there is a confirmed COVID case at the school site. So if you did not receive a letter from me saying that you're a close contact, then your child obviously isn't a close contact, but that's how you'll be notified. In regards to the school lunch menu, so that is something I did bring up to the district office. We are going to be distributing those now on a monthly basis, but that is actually available on our district website. If you go under parents and then click under nutritional services, there is the menu there. And then also I did post it on the weekly bulletin last week. And so if you go to our school website, you're able to access it there. All right. Rosalia had asked, my question has to do with drop-off. I noticed that drop-off for kinder, the first week our kids are being put together, be taken to the cafeteria from multiple classrooms by dollars affected by the recent quarantine in kinder. Are there other kids not being affected, or how would be tracking be done in this case? That's a really good question. So when they are being, taken to the cafeteria in the morning, they are separated by we are separating them by their different classes, and they're all maintaining at least a 3-foot distance there and required to wear masks. So we are working with the Department of Public Health whenever there is a COVID case, confirmed COVID case, and we're working with them on all of the procedures for contact tracing. Good question, Ms. Rodriguez. All right, I'll give a few more minutes for any other questions. And if you'd rather unmute yourself and ask, that's totally fine. If you feel comfortable putting it in the chat, however you would like to do it is totally okay with me. All right. Anna Prez had asked, in regards to health and safety, will there be a touchless temperature check? We are using the touchless thermometers that we do have. If you're asking about like the scanners, currently that is not something that we do have at our school site, but definitely something that we could look into. But we are really just using the touchless thermometers that we do have currently. All right, Natalie has her hand raised. Natalie, do you want to mute yourself?
I know you had mentioned Miss Kwok was first and kinder. How is it being, how do I say this? How is the teaching going for the first and kinder? Are they learning the same process the first graders are, or are they getting kind of behind?
No, so for our kinder and first grade combo, really when it has to do just with our numbers of enrollment, when we can't fill a complete classroom, sometimes we do have to just group our students kinder and first. But no, our kindergartners are being taught the kindergarten standards, and then our first graders are being taught the first grade standards. And so Ms. Kwok is an amazing teacher. She has taught both grade levels before, and she's able to adapt and teach both student groups appropriately.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. All right. Okay, the question from Laura was, what is the earliest kids can get dropped off in the morning? So we are not providing supervision until 7:45. So I have seen that there are other parents who are dropping off their students early. However, I do not have staff supervision until 7:45. Our fourth graders don't start until 8, so that's 15 minutes before, and we really are trying to limit just students being on campus and congregating. And then the rest of our students start at 8:25. So our campus opens at 7:45, and that's when supervision will be there. We're asking that you don't drop off any earlier than that because we don't have supervision out front, and obviously for safety purposes, I wouldn't want anything to happen to our students, but 7:45 is the time that we're opening. And then Marissa asked, is there any plans for Halloween or holidays? So definitely the first part of the statement there, Marissa, it's early. Ultimately, we would love to have everything that we've done in the past. If you've ever been a part of we've had a winter program before. We usually have a really huge costume parade. That's awesome. And I would love for that to happen. With everything going on with the Delta variant, though, to just be honest with you, I don't know. I don't want to give you an answer or get your hopes up. I can't really say. Things are constantly changing, and obviously, it's just too early to say. I mean, even with like our back to school night, which is really coming up here pretty soon, I want to be able to communicate that with you, but I'm still waiting just on guidance from the district level. And obviously, just safety is obviously at the forefront of our minds. So I would love the kids to have those fun opportunities. That's what makes my job great. That's what the kids love. That's what they remember. But I just don't have an answer quite yet. But fingers crossed, if things start to improve, hopefully we'll be able to have some of those fun in-person activities. Lizette. Thank you very much, Lizette. We appreciate that. All right, so Eladeth had asked if children with an IEP get extra push to participate. My son has a speech delay, and I know participating is hard for him sometimes. Yeah, so all of our students on IEPs are getting the services per their IEP documentation, whether that be speech services or just extra accommodations. All of our teachers are provided with the student IEPs at the beginning of the school year, so they're aware of the individual student needs in their classrooms, and they do provide that extra support. Whether that be from the teacher or if they are, like you mentioned, receiving speech services outside of the classroom in a small group setting, they will be getting that all, of course, dictated by what is on their IEP. All right. So you're welcome, Rosalie. And you're absolutely right. So, we did have to kind of shore up our practices after the first week. Things were a little hectic and chaotic. And obviously for our kinders and TKers, this is the first time they've been on campus. And in the past, we're able to have parents kind of walk the students to class, but something we weren't able to do just because of everything going on surrounding COVID-19. So we did kind of we've been able to separate them now. And as we move forward, we'll make adjustments. And obviously, as the Department of Public Health recommends to us that things need to be changed, we are making those changes even within our classrooms as things are being updated. All right. I'll give maybe another minute or so to put responses. It seems the chat has been the favored feature, which is totally fine. So I'll give about another minute, and then I'll go ahead and launch you guys. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen again with everybody. And this next slide is just our launch. So as I mentioned, what our launch is just kind of that final piece of the day. It usually happens at the end of the class where we launch our students into the day or the week, depending on what it is. So this is just a launch for the day for all of you. And what it is a child's life is like a piece of paper of which every person leaves a mark. We know it's a collaborative effort here at New Temple. We are going to do our best to leave such a positive mark on your students' lives, but we also ask that it's a partnership and that you do the same and just help us out. If there's anything you ever would like us to know, please let us know. Our teachers are all very welcoming to suggestions, and I am myself too. I love to hear what you have to say. If there are things that you think we can improve upon, please definitely reach out to me. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen. I just want to say thank you, all of you, for your time today. If there is anything, any other questions that you have individually, you can always reach out to the office and contact me directly. I'm happy to answer any questions, but I do thank you for your time today. Again, this presentation will be available on our school website later today, and I will also be posting a copy of this recording later today. If any of your family members would like to view it, or if you have other friends maybe who weren't able to join, you can let them know that this will be available on the school website. All right. Thank you, Marissa, for the positive words. I appreciate it. And everyone have a wonderful day. We'll see you all soon. Bye.